everybody. It's July 1st. 9 days till I get married. Oh, my God. Welcome to Nez Says, a place where musicians can get together and inspire each other to play more guitar, bass, drums, clarinet, flute, whatever. All good. Music here. Music is what we're talking about. Gear, guitars, music, musicians. We're all here. Ben and Ty. Ty and Ben. How are we doing today?
Hey, Dave. Good to see you, Ben. Always good to see you. Welcome to Thursday. It is Thursday, right? July 1st. The year's flying by.
It is. July 1st.
But the world is opening back up. The world is opening
Canada
back
Day.
up.
It's July 1st.
Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Ben, happy Canada Day.
I don't even know what Canada Day is, Ben. You're going to have to educate me.
Independence Day.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the day that everyone cares about Canada.
Yeah. Including Canadians. Yeah. Happy Canada Day to all you fellow knuckleheads out there in the world tuning in. We've got 4th of July happening this Sunday. So it's much like Thanksgiving. We Canadians, we like to get a bit of a head start on things. That's all. So which just means an extra long weekend, because let's be honest, you got a Thursday holiday, Friday's automatic holiday anyway. So that I'm just happy to be here. We've all had storms in the area. We've all had power outages. I'm just happy we're all here, and we get to talk here. All right. Wow. Did not mean that. So let's get to it. So I know Ty's he was on a Strat kick last week, but that was so last week. So
it is my favorite, even though I do things quite differently than that. The Stratocaster is my favorite guitar tune. I love the sound of a Stratocaster on a neck pickup through a clean amp. Beautiful to me.
That was so June, Ty. That was so June. July, I think it's like Gibson month or something, from what I hear.
It's always Gibson month in this house.
Gibson month in this house as well.
Yeah.
It's always a Gibson month in this house.
Isn't that true? And we should say hello to everyone. We've got all points covered here. We've got Terry's 3G in the chat here. Music Therapy Les, our Hungarian homie. Thunder Falcon.
Thunder Falcon.
Papa Blue.
Hey, Papa.
Gear Junkie 35 made it live tonight. That's awesome, because I think
Gear Junkie 35. That's a great name. That's a great handle.
Aren't we all?
Right? Some guy named Ty Price. Never heard of him. Ben Coombs. Never heard of him either. Nope. Charles Ben is here, though. He was grabbing a cold snack earlier. We got the one and only Thomas Santiago.
Hey, Thomas.
New York. I was watching a documentary on Buffalo the other night. Interesting stuff. Just saying. Matthew Stewart, Love to Rock, and some person named StreamYard. Perfect.
Hey, Matthew, Love to Rock is a good handle.
Mike Neese is here, too.
Mike Neese, yes.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Matthew Stewart hasn't been here in a while. Welcome back, Matthew.
Hey, Matthew. Deja Voodoo just showed up.
Yes.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Thunder Falcon is still the best handle on YouTube, without question.
That just sounds like the nickname I'd give to the band van.
Right.
I'll swing by to the Thunder Falcon and pick you up.
But Thunder Falcon would be the name of it would be a great band name, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine the merch that would go with that?
You got to wear leather in that band, Ty. There's a lot
absolutely. Leather and play a flying V. That would be
awesome. Yes. So
I think two guitarists, one plays a Gibson V, the other plays a Jackson V. Just mix things up.
All good. All V's are very, very cool.
Yeah. All V's matter.
That's right. All V's matter.
Gear Junkie 35 is from Kenosha, Wisconsin. And he's got 100 pedals, so it's an apt handle, he says.
That's
cool.
What I have.
Cool. Gear Junkie 35 should jump on the stream with us and show us some of his cool pedals.
Yeah. Gear Junkie.
Hey, Jasco.
If you want to come on here sometime tonight, just let us know what your Facebook Messenger handle is, and I'll send you the link, and you can come on.
Yeah, anybody that wants to jump in, just let us know if you want to jump in.
What's up, Jasco?
Oh, look, he's down. Gear Junkie 35 is down. I love it.
I dig it. That'll
Awesome.
be a lot of pedal talk that night. A lot of pedal talk.
Yeah. I like
Love it.
pedals.
That night might be tonight if he's willing to do it.
That's true.
Pedals, I mean, it's a never-ending quest, right? I mean, I'm constantly asking myself, what is the fascination with pedals? Why am I always in pursuit of the next great pedal?
Well,
I mean, we were talking about pedals. I think we probably all have our weakness, and mine happens to be wah pedals.
what's up, Quentin James?
It's why am I always looking for a new wah pedal?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
I think pedals are the easiest thing to get into as far as collecting, because one, if you want to start it with affordable pedals, for $300 you could have a dozen pedals, right, off Amazon,
right.
And you have a quite little collection on the go. Right? Plus, they don't take up a lot of room, right? You have a dozen amps. That's space. That's a corner at the very. If they're all packed in and stacked and Tetrised up, it's still a big corner of a room. But
you rent a room, or you rent a locker, you rent a room, or you have you have a studio or an off-site space. Yeah,
exactly. But with pedals, man, you could throw them in a drawer. Milk crate. How many pedals can fit in a milk crate? Woo!
I love pedals.
Mm-hmm. And they're the easiest way to change your tone.
Good point, Ben. A very easy way to maybe even shape your tone. You may be happy with the tone. You might be really happy with it, but depending on pedal order and pre and post distortion, that type, the whole philosophy of arranging pedals in a certain way can certainly help you shape your tone. And there's, I know that there's general rules that we follow or general principles that we follow in lining these things up, but at the end of the day, we're creating art,
right?
And we can, the artist can choose to use these paintbrushes any way that he wants to use them to.
Very true.
Create something new.
James in the house and Sean Zimmerman.
Hey, Quentin. Hey, Sean.
Great to see you two crazy cats in here. Quentin had the whole SWAT team in his neighborhood the other day. Perfect. And Sean, I hope you're continually healing up.
Yes.
He's got one of them new and improved kidneys there, Dave. Don't be jealous.
Wow.
Something that I need. I know he's just gotten it, and he's getting better every day, which is great.
Wow, good. Godspeed, Sean.
And thankfully, it's not true bypass.
Hey, Janice.
Now he can drink pitchers and pitchers of this stuff when I'm only allowed a little bit.
Right. Hey, Janice. Great to see Janice in here.
Yeah.
Yes, pedal order is always a fun thing to play with. Some of the best things you can do, Ty, is give someone a bunch of pedals and don't tell them a thing about hooking them up, because they're going to come up with combinations that you wouldn't even think of, I think.
Yeah, and that's part of the fun and the creativity, right? Hey, Dan, 6-string Brian, good to see you.
Awesome.
Hello to everybody here.
Yeah. And then
and that's part of the fun, arranging them in certain ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think, I think of like masters of pedal boards like David Gilmour, and how the order of how he arranged those things were essential to that tone of his that we all like to chase.
Sure.
Right? I mean, good Lord.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely. True. Excuse me.
Hey.
706 here.
What's up, Jay?
Hey, Jay.
That's all right, Jay. I will tell you why I called you tomorrow. Can't really announce it on here.
Yeah. But be sitting down when Dave calls. Just saying.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool.
Yep.
So Ty, would you like to show one of your boards? You have something handy to show real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I can unpack one. Hang on. I can unpack a small board that I carry. Hang on.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
One thing I noticed, Dave, is I swap a lot of pedals on my board, and you can tell with COVID, I knew I wasn't going to be gigging anytime soon, so I can't hold up my board because 2/3 of it doesn't have Velcro anymore. Because you just don't get around to it.
But you know, when you start booking shows again, you need to get that pedal board back in shape.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it was after we were on the phone, folks, earlier today, and I hooked up a different phaser on the board while we were ending the call, and I found out my octave and that phaser can't be on the same board. They do not like each other.
Creates noise.
Yep, a lot of noise. So
I have a Bunar delay pedal, it's kind of like an what are those things called? Catlin Bread makes it. Anyway, it's a delay pedal. It didn't get along with any of my pedals on the board. It made a humming sound even when the pedal was off. It made some. It sounds great alone, but it makes this noise. It's like, and I couldn't keep it on the board. All right, Ty, let's get you on here.
Well, this is a small board that I travel with. If I'm using, if I'm using a real amp, and not a profiler or a modeler. So it's real simple. It's a real simple board. It's I don't know how much you want me to explain, like how this is made. All right, so the delay and the modulation can run in front of an amp or in a loop.
okay.
So if I'm using my own stuff, I would run it in a loop.
Mm-hmm.
If I were using a piece of backline gear that I'm not super familiar with, then I might tend to run everything in front. And I bank delays in this eventide time factor, depending on whether it's in a loop or in front. You'll see this super overdrive because I've been using my own stuff, and I really look, this is old school. I've been using this pedal for many, 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 many years, or a version of this pedal for many years. So I like this when I'm using my own stuff. But if I'm going to a piece of backline, I carry this with me, and it actually stays in the road case for this board because I can switch. I can always get that I use Friedman amp, so I can always get my tone out of this. So I can set the amp, whatever, if it's, if it's a different brand of an amp on the backline, which, if it's a backline, it always is, I can set it clean and use this for my primary tone. So this is the secret weapon. But if I'm using my stuff, I'll use the Boss Super Overdrive.
So let me ask you a question real quick on the BEOD, the dip switch is on the inside. I
dial it back to 9 o'clock.
Okay, so it's set for low gain, and then you use it. Perfect.
And I set it for low gain so that I can control it all here.
Yeah.
So in the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so if I'm doing a tribute gig, because I think most of y'all know I do a tribute gig, this is the board I would use on that tribute gig right here. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of my favorite wahs here, which is, the second version of the Dunlop / Crybaby. One of my favorites.
And what's different between it and a stock GCB 95?
Well, like the sweep.
Is it a longer sweep? Or is it on a different tone stack, like a different mid shift where that does sweep?
Well, I think I can answer that for him. It's more friendly to humbuckers.
Okay.
Than the
sure is.
GCB95. The GCB95 is more of. I mean, it does both, but it's more friendly with single coils. That pedal there is like a humbucker friendly.
Okay. Excellent.
So strategically, I've got some key things set up here. Like I've got this guy here at the end, because it's buffered.
Sure.
So I like that a lot because there's no buffers underneath the board. The only thing underneath the board is there's a power supply
Sure.
underneath. And look, this is built on a 15-year-old Pedal Train 2. I think this is the Pedal Train Classic. It's still it's an oldie but a goodie, and it's small and it's light and it's easy to carry around. I think all of these pedals are pretty new. There's a tuner and
So you run your chorus after your delay.
On this bin, yeah, it's coming after the delay.
I do too. I run the chorus. My chorus is last in line.
Really?
But it's the way that it's also the way that I use it. So like if I'm doing the tribute thing, I mean, this is the beginning of Paradise City right here.
Right.
And that's really the only time it comes on.
Yeah.
In that gig. So so it's easy, and then I can just keep it at the end.
Mhm.
So super easy.
Probably.
And then like in the tribute gig, the only thing I'm using in the tribute gig is the wah. Sometimes I'll hit the boss for solos, and then I use some delay here and there. I do use delay on solos, but most of the time my rhythm tone is dry.
Okay.
I just like that. I like the immediacy of it.
We got Ben Tom joining in, Tim Thomas, and I saw someone else jump in, and I don't want to miss him, Guitar Man 45. Now,
Nice.
Papa Blue has an interesting question.
So he says, I just got an auto wah. I use a regular wah pedal, but I thought I'd try an auto wah. Where should that pedal go in the board? It needs to go before
Anywhere that it sounds best to you is where it should go.
Yeah, but generally, again, my opinion, Ty is actually right, but in my opinion, it sounds best before any overdrive.
Right. Which is normally where you would place a wah pedal. I was going to say, wherever you have your current wah pedal, just pull it out, put the auto wah in its place. And because
Mine's first.
Your wah is probably the first pedal in your signal chain. Or
Correct.
Mine is
after
first.
the tuner. What's up, Kurt?
Yeah.
5150.
Hey,
Kurt.
Excuse me.
Yeah, mine goes first. I like mine first. I also like to have it there under my foot.
Where do you
Under
like
your
your tuners? Where do you guys like your tuners in your?
Well, on that board, my tuner is number 2 in the chain,
Okay. Right after the wah.
right after the wah. It's real simple, Ben.
Huh?
It's
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah. So here's the order. Here's the order. So
I think I
there's
used
a
to
wah
do the same thing when I had
to a
the
tuner, wah to a tuner to the octave pedal,
Mm-hmm.
to the phaser chorus out. Okay, and then if I'm running after the octave pedal goes to the Boss Super Overdrive, and then if I'm running in a loop, you see that line booster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That line booster will feed into the delay pedal, and it'll go into the loop. Okay, so why is the line booster in the loop? Because I'll step on it for a volume boost for solos.
Sure.
If I'm running everything in front, then the Eventide and the line booster will slip in right before the chorus pedal. Real simple.
Nice. Hey, Jimmy Carr. Clinton asked, left or right foot to work your wah? I use my left foot because my guitar rests against my right hip.
I most of the time I use my left foot.
I use my right. Because my guitar is on my right hip.
Yeah. Hey, here's my favorite wah pedal though. It's sitting here on the floor, so I'm going to grab it. So if I weren't doing that tribute gig, this is the pedal that'd be on the board. This is my favorite wah pedal for like gigging. It's very versatile. It's got 2 different, how do you say it, Dave? Phasels.
Oh yeah.
So it's got 2 different selections there, and it has a boost on it, which I never use. But this pedal right here, this CAE Custom Audio Electronics MXRY,
Yeah.
this is money right here. If you're a guy that gigs, if you're out gigging, this is it right here. This is the pedal.
I like anything custom audio electronic. All the
They
stuff.
make great stuff.
Yep.
Oh, Tom is just killing me here in the chat. I was playing my tri-stereo chorus rack unit today. Damn, it ruined me for using chorus pedals.
Yeah,
I
that'll
bet,
do it.
Tom. I think he got the which one? Oh, I knew this. I think he got the TC that 80s rack.
Oh, very
Nice.
cool. Yeah,
Nice.
very cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
Sean's
John.
right. The inductors, yellow and red. And I tend to use, I don't know about you, Sean, but I tend to use the hey, Josh.
That's
I tend to use the yellow one. To me, that's what works. That's what my ear seems to like.
very cool. That 80s rack chorus. That's it.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. I used to use some Crybaby Rack Wahs before it was just too burdensome to carry them around.
What's up, Unbelievable?
I love that name. Too bad we can't-
Unbelievable. That's a good name, no doubt. Good name.
But the way he spells it, it's very Brooklyn.
Yeah. He sent me in a couple of pedals to do demos on. And so, of course, I want to thank him in the video, but I strategically coughed throughout the video. So every time I'd say his name was, yes, and I want to thank you, and Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very
I think I
cool.
picked that one up from Phil McKnight, I think. Marshall Staggs is here.
So before I show my board, is there anything else you want to talk about on your board, Ty?
Hey, Marshall. Yeah, let me answer this question for him. Trying to remember. Can you put that question up, Dave? Trying to remember what I said. Thank you for the compliment, though. Watching a replay this week of a previous episode, and you mentioned essential seventh chords for every player. What are they? Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that there's really five in my book. There's really 5 common seventh chord shapes that I believe every guitar player should know because it really kind of helps to expand your voice. The first is major 7, the second minor 7, the third would be dominant 7. The fourth would be minor 7 flat 5, and the fifth would be a diminished 7. So major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, diminished 7, and then learn those 5 chords with the root on your 6th string, and then your root on the 5th string. That will be 10 new chords for you. It'll be 5 new chords with 10 new ways to finger it, and you can really expand your chordal vocabulary from there. And once you get those chords under your hands, both on the 6th string root and 5th string root, 6th string root and 5th string root, a lot of the scales that you already know will fall right under your fingers. There you go.
That's really good to know.
Always with the good questions, Marshall. Thanks for showing up every week, man.
I'm just laughing at Charles' comment. Well, technically, I could show it now because I did cover up the name on one of the pedals that's on the board. Because there's one pedal on the board I'm not allowed to show.
Okay.
Tom gives it the thumbs up right there. He says, when I learned my basic jazz chords, it opens up a lot of possibilities, and learned the 7th arpeggios as well. Absolutely.
Yep.
And once you know those chord shapes, those arpeggios and those scale shapes will fall right under your fingers. Unbelievable
can't show his board for the same reason. For the same pedal, in fact.
Oh, okay.
There's a handful of us that had got an early copy of this. Tom's another one. So the three of us, we just
Well, then I guess I'll have to show my board and talk about it.
yeah.
So
Well,
let me set this.
I was thinking I'll try doing this after you do yours, Dave. Cool.
Let's set this up. Hang on one second. So you guys are going to have to field any questions or any statements in the chat because I won't be at my computer. Okay.
You got it.
All right. So let's do this.
Best compressor for squash sounds, primarily for the country picking sound. I think we probably all have an opinion on this. I like the Keeley.
Yeah. That's what he asked me that the other night. Keeley four knobber.
Yeah, the four knobber. The four knobber is the one.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh yeah. Look at that.
All right. So with this board, I mean, I've got a few buffers in here. I start at the top right with the Unicorn from JHS, which is my vibe pedal,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Nobles ODR1 Mini, and I have that set up at 18 volts, so that really sounds good. And then the OCD, which is the germanium one. And then I have the original Ethos
Oh wow.
pedal, which is it's like a train wreck amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Duelist, which
Another great pedal.
to me is the best. One of those green pedals that you see all the time, and a Blues Breaker that I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have one of those which I paid an arm and a leg for because I didn't want to wait 4 years for one.
Right.
From there, I go to the Ultraphonics from Vertex, which is like a Dumble. Sorry about my finger being in the way. Hang on. It's like a Dumble style pedal. And when I want to play in like bedroom volume, I just turn the input volume of that down and use that for my overdrive. And it's not so loud. From there, I have my tremolo.
Is that Walrus?
Yeah, Walrus Audio Tremolo. It's amazing. It's probably the best sounding tremolo I've ever heard.
They're a great group of folks.
Then I have a 74 script logo. And then from there, I have the Lucky Cat made by JHS, and I use that just for like a triplet echo, like a dotted eighth note triplet echo.
Tom's calling that Lucky Cat a seizure cat.
Very funny. It is the way I have it set up. I have it set up at about 320 milliseconds at the moment. And then from there, I go to the timeline. I go mono out of the Lucky Cat into the timeline, mono.
Mm-hmm.
The timeline, right now, I have it set up for ping pong delay, which is the left side is quarter note, the right side is dotted quarter note.
Ooh,
Right.
nice.
So it's bump, 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 like that. And it's ping pong. Then I have that going stereo out into the Dimension C and stereo out into each of the amps.
Very nice. What's up, Dwight Bailey? Hitman.
Hey,
in
Dwight
the-
Bailey. Good to see you, man.
Very nice. That's
So,
a very
yeah,
cool board.
Right now, I have it plugged into the Junior. And let's so you can hear what the delay sounds like. I don't know if you can. So now you kind of hear the ping pong. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I lost you.
No, we're
Just
here.
you.
Well, I lost the feed on that thing.
You,
so
you put yourself there. You go.
That's a cool board, Dave.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Let me
Very
get
cool.
this set up again so I can I don't know what I just did, but I apologize.
So when you're playing that board, everything's in stereo. So your gig carry is both amps and the board and 2 mics, right?
Yes, if I'm going to play in stereo, but all I have to do to play in mono is just lose one of the cables coming out of the Dimension C, and just like lose the right side. And if I just have the left side, I can use 1 amp and be in mono, and it works.
Right on. Yeah, cool. Very cool.
Yeah. All right. So I'm back. Let me.
So when you're designing a board, question for you guys and question for you guys in the chat. When you're designing a board,
There you go.
I mean, how do you begin? Like, what's your process for beginning? Obviously, when I put the board down that I just unpacked, obviously that's something very specific that I've tried to make a little more useful in a general setting. But as many of you have observed, that's for a rock gig into an overdriven rock amp with a humbucker guitar. I mean, it's very specific. How do you approach your pedal board? What's your process? Are you planning everything, and does it come down to here's what I've got to achieve, and these are the necessary pedals, and then here's how I'm going to order it, and or do you really start by plugging and playing and figuring it out as you go along?
No, I kind of have it. For me, I plan things out on paper first. So I kind of know the way I like to hear stuff. I always know that if I have a Watts, I'll be the first in line. If I have overdrives, I try to do the light overdrives first and then the heavier overdrives so that I can use the heavier overdrives and then kick on the light one just to boost a little bit.
Yep.
And from there, if I don't, tremolo is always going to be next for me because you want tremolo before you delay. You don't want to delay your tremolo. You want your tremolo delayed. It just sounds better.
Right.
And then delay, and then the opposite with the chorus for me. You don't want to delay your chorus. No, you don't want to chorus your delay. You want your delays first and then the chorus separate. You don't want to.
I run my chorus before my delay.
I run it after because you just want it to. You want it to. Well, that means you chorus your delay. Yeah, I want to chorus my delay. I want it to be the same as my direct sound. So that's what I do, and so on. I generally keep a tuner before everything if I'm going to have a tuner on the board. But lately with, like you have TC headstock tuners, they're great. So that leaves up a space that I don't need on my board. Some people think that headstock tuners are a little finicky, but whatever. If it keeps your guitar in tune, it keeps your guitar in tune. So that's me.
Tom, thank you very much for your super chat. Thank you. Any way I can lower the noise floor on my Roland SDE delay units? They sound killer, but they are noisy. Yeah, they're noisy. I mean, what are you using? What are you using a clamp now? I mean, are you using a noise gate now? And if so, how are you using it? If you're not using one, that'd probably be the first place I started. Dave, what do you think?
I think that works. That's good. Yes, absolutely. You want to keep the noise to a minimum.
Unbelievable on my board, on this board that I use pretty regularly. I put a chorus pedal right now. I've got a very simple Boss Super Chorus with a buffer at the end, and I run it in front of my amp because that's the way I like to hear it. I do have some modulation on an Eventide that I run through the loop when that loop is available to me, that I can use as well. If I also have the ability of subbing that super chorus out and throwing an H9 on there, and I can put that through a loop as well with the time factor, so I can get that. What I tried to do is I tried to make a small board absolutely as versatile as I possibly could. And even though everything's tied down nice and neat underneath the board, I left enough slack in the patch cables and the power cables so that I can switch some pedals out here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good question. But I like the chorus. I like the chorus at the end.
So those of you who don't know who the fourth thing is, this is Ben's pedal board.
Yep. All right.
And we're going to have a guest coming on in a few minutes, I think, to show his board.
Awesome. So starting off, I actually have a tuner on the board. That is the Outlaw 6-shooter. Oh, look at that finger cam. Perfect. From there, we go into MXR Phase 95, set to a Phase 90 script. That goes into my signature pedal, the Nice Drive A, which is a boost. Because like Dave, I like to stack my overdrives. That goes into LPD Lost Dutchman, which is similar to a Timmy, into a pedal I can't talk about, so we won't talk about that one. This one here is my LPD Pedals 87 Deluxe, which is 2 channels, the green sounding like AC/DC in a box. Early JCM, nice and clean, but with some nice breakup. And then the other side, the red channel being a Jose modded Marshall.
Cool.
Currently disconnected because we got to play with noise. We got a DoD Octo Plus. Doesn't track worth hell, but I love it.
I love the sound of those, Ben.
Thanks.
I love those old DoD pedals.
Awfully dusty, but you can tell it's literally been on my board for years. That goes into up here into the MXR Stereo Chorus, which is where I can split out to stereo from there. Continuing to more modulation, we have the Joyo Classic Flanger. It's cheap, but I love this flanger. Into another phaser, because I like phase post-gain sometimes, as well as pre, and that is my Akai Custom Shop phaser with multiple settings and that. And the main side, which would be my left side, into a delay, and that is my LPD Pedals White Rabbit delay. Which
Sweet.
That one's a prototype, so that's why it just says delay on it.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Guitar Man 45 has a question about power. Tell us
Sure.
about your power, Ben.
I've got a Donner. Wow, that really is bright. Donner power supply. You can buy them off the old Jungle website. And because I got more pedals than brains, I need another power supply. So over here, we got a K-Line power supply, which also has some, as you can see, some 120 ports on top. So I was able to daisy chain my 2 power supplies. And then the other power adapter, that's just a Dunlop I use for pedal demos here in the studio. So I have a long power cable.
Cool.
So there we are.
Good.
Very cool.
What about power for you, Dave?
I have a Voodoo Labs Mondo that powers the board, and it does everything except for the time factor. The timeline. I have that right now. I have it plugged into a wall wart into the wall because of I'm not gigging, so I don't need to have it on a power supply at the moment. But when I'm ready to gig again, and when we're all ready to gig again, really, I'll get a very small, like some sort of small power supply that I'll put under my board just for that, and it'll be fine.
So this board right here is powered with this little Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2, the oldie but a goodie, always trusty. But I, like Dave, you will see this is kind of hard to see right here, and you can see how things are tied down, but there's a little slack left so that I can change those pedals out, like I said. But right here, I run the Eventide into its own power strip under the board. And so what comes off, so this power strip just comes off as part of the snake that's wired in on this board, and this is what the snake looks like. So it's a 25-foot. So all my cables are in here. Mm-hmm. And it's a 25-foot snake, and it's really cool. My buddy Jay, who's a pedal board freak and probably the best pedal board builder I know, turned me on to this stuff right here. And so this is going to turn into a commercial real quick because it's totally awesome. This is called a pedal python. And you literally order this from Pedal Python on the web. They send you a cable management system. It all fits in here. You tie it on the end, and you're good to go.
Nice.
And you can buy it in whatever, you can buy it, and he's got some pre-made lengths that you can buy it in, and you put it on, you trim it to size, and that's good. I don't need anything more than a 25-foot cable, so that's that.
And to quickly answer Guitar Man 45's question, we all use isolated power supplies.
Yep.
Absolutely. Everybody, Gear Junkie.
Gear Junkie 35, good to meet you, man.
We see you.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, there you go. There you are. Yeah, hi, Gear Junkie.
Yeah, glad.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, I'm really glad the YouTube notifications actually work tonight.
So are we.
Gear Junkie 35.
So can you do me a favor?
Nice to meet you.
Can you turn your phone sideways so we see you long ways?
All right, let's see. Well, that's
not going to work. Try that.
No, you don't have to.
All right, we'll leave it that way then. We'll leave it that way. That's okay. It's all good. So how you been? How you doing?
Good. Working my butt off, trying to slowly put together the machinations of a YouTube channel my damn self. But as I'm sure you guys know, stuff ain't easy,
man.
No, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Oh, that's right. Everyone.
Exactly.
I think everybody is.
Hey, Fruitcake Tony's here. Hey, Tony, good to see you, my friend. Glad you joined us.
So, Gear Junkie, tell us a little bit about you, and if you want to show us your gear, show us your board and whatever guitars you want to show us.
Well, let's see. My gear journey began back in /88, right around the time Sweet Child of Mine came out. Imagine that.
Oh,
I think that's what did it for a lot of us. Saw Slash with the Les Paul, and I said, you know what? I want to do that. And I've been collecting guitars, amps, and pedals ever since.
Sweet, man.
Love to hear that.
Currently, I'm at about 30 guitars, only about 4 of which are plug-and-play condition, of course.
Of course.
And yeah, the pedal collection just rolled 100 pieces about 2 weeks ago.
Wow, man.
What was the last pedal that you got?
Geez. Hate to say it, but I think it was the Super Fuzz. It was on back order from Behringer for 4 months.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right, so let me get this up here so we can see.
Yeah, let's go full screen on that. Nice.
I got a Donner Boost Killer.
Nice.
Donner Harmonic Square for the octave.
Yeah, man.
Fuzz. A little bit more fuzz. This is Eno or EX, whatever you call it. It's a muff clone, and it does it fantastically well.
Cool.
And then we got the Flamma Reverb for $70. This thing is a shit ton of good tones.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome.
And what amp you play through?
Yeah, what are you plugging that into?
Let's see. I'm running that into this guy.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think it's an early 90s reissue. I've never actually bothered to look up the serial number, but I've got that running into the chassis of an old PV Classic VTX. I'm basically using it for the Celestial.
Sure.
So I've got 2 SM57s mic'd up Friedman style.
Nice.
And I've got a Sennheiser, 609.
609.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I got those running into an old school Behringer mixer.
Yep. Oh man, I've seen a few of them around.
You know what? I've had about 4 or 5 of those Behringer mixers, and honestly, the old MX and the UB series preamps, they're just, my God, they're just clean and quiet, and they do the job. So
The power
Yeah.
amp did not last, though. The power amps did not last, but they were dirt cheap.
No.
They were basically disposable.
yeah, I got this one. This is, I believe this is a 16 channel. I got it on Goodwill for $35.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
can't beat that. You can't
Chalk
beat
that up
that.
to things that never happened to me. I never find a deal like that. I'm so glad that some people in the world do, but I never find a deal like that.
Oh, believe me, I got to stalk it. But yeah, the deals are there. But I work from home, so luckily I've got let's just say a few minutes to peruse the webs on my break.
Sure.
Awesome.
Plus, Ty, you're hanging out in too good a neighborhood, so that's your problem.
I just would like to have a deal every once in a while. I mean,
I'm
all
gonna
you
go hang out
guys.
in the slums a bit, find some deals.
All right, now
Wow.
you see that drawer right there? That is like I love that. I love Boss pedals. They're dependable, reliable, they're bulletproof, and they sound amazing.
Oh, look at that!
See?
Wonderful pedal. Best out of the 100 I own. This is the number one. My God, this thing is just a.
Right? There's
Love
nothing
that
like
thing.
that red channel on the market.
Oh, it's lively. It's responsive. It takes pedals, and for as much gain as it pushes out, it's surprisingly quiet. So yeah, it's definitely a keeper.
Cool,
It
man.
goes at 24 volts internally.
Oh, high headroom. Very nice.
Yep, that's why. 6 FETs.
So let's see. Here's my Chugga beast. An LTD F350 neck through with 8160 combination.
Very nice.
Love it.
I'm usually not a big EMG fan, but in this guitar, damn, it just works.
I love
This thing,
EMGs.
It sits like an SG, got no body tilt when you let go. That neck through is just, mwah. Oh God.
That
Thank you,
guitar
LTD.
looks like if Billy Gibbons decided to do a tour playing for Alice Cooper for a run. That's a
I
guitar.
mean, I love the pinstriping on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is classy, man.
Yeah, I actually picked it up like that for $218 from OfferUp.
Nice.
Again,
I remember
things
the price.
That never happened to me.
I remember the price because I was like, who sells a guitar for $218?
I agree.
That's amazing.
Here's my twang machine.
Gotta love it. Yeah, thin
Oof.
line. Beautiful.
Sweet.
69, like a 69 thin line. Yeah.
Flame neck on this thing. The neck
That
on this
was
thing
a
is just.
very popular guitar for Fender. Man, they sold a crap ton of those.
Yeah, I think
They're
I paid.
great.
When were those
150.
made? What year were those made?
Serial number on this puts it at 2013, so this is probably among the first runs.
Cool. That's a cool guitar.
Yeah, I've got a set of Music Lily brass saddles. I just haven't gotten around to putting them on yet.
Oh,
I
Uh-huh.
want to do a nice clean tone test, run it through the computer so I can get some sonic samples, do an AB versus stainless versus brass, and see what it does to the actual frequency response.
mm-hmm.
Projects.
Real
I know we all
quick,
have them.
go down on your shirt. Let's give a shout out to Philip McKnight. Know your
Oh,
gear. Know
Oh
your
yeah, this is the guy that started it for me many, many years ago. I got a Squire Strat, and I was like, you know what? How do I make this thing better? That was 7 or 8 years ago.
Man, that's so cool.
I have binged everything that Phil's got.
And look, I mean, I love taking like a gear tour, like the one you're putting us on, because you can tell how much time you have invested in understanding what you like, why you like it, and how you like it. And that's, I can learn something new from guys like you.
I have gone through so much gear over the years, some of it good, some of it just absolute garbage. And you hold on to the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys can see this, but that's a PVTG Rex. It was their very first tube preamp Rex.
I remember those.
Yeah, I got
Man.
this about 2 years ago. I think I paid $50 for it. It doesn't work. It needed a fuse.
I used to have one of those BBEs.
Oh, you know what? I love Glenn Fricker, love his channel, and he shits on these things all the time. But you know what? Only bring it in a little bit. Don't overdo it like Dan Donegan from Disturbed. His tone is just BBE shit farts all over the albums. Keep it at 30%. It brings you the highs, brings you the lows, and gets washed out. Doesn't overcompress. You're good. Dabble do you?
Unbelievable.
That's good advice.
Who never met him talking about Phil McKnight? Sure, unbelievable. You're part of that Phoenix Mafia there. Are you LPD, Phil McKnight, Dane from Zims? Yeah, I know.
That's
The
cool.
whole Phoenix thing.
Just out of curiosity, has anybody here ever had a chance to try one of these?
Oh yeah.
Is that the
Oh,
Fender?
man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Fender Pugilist.
The Pugilist, yeah.
I heard it's fantastic. I really want to check one out.
Honest to God,
Yeah.
this thing can do everything from, with an EQ in front of it, you can go from metal tone to OD1, SD1, DS1. Every Boss pedal sound is in there. You just got to tweak it right. It's great.
Yes, it's great.
Nice.
It's great. I don't
Right.
have one anymore though. I should have held on to it.
Yeah, it's like me and my Blues Breaker back in the day. I was a kid.
Another
It's not high gain. It doesn't chug. I got to get rid of it.
And what were you buying? Like what were you buying back in the day for the chug? Were you buying like the Metal Zone, or what did you chase back in the day?
Honestly, I was looking for somewhere between Neil Young's Rip Speaker Sound and Justice for All. Go figure.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
a lot of
remember Neil
territory
Young?
right there.
Well, Neil was one of the very first musical influences.
Mhm.
Him and Bob Seger, some of the acoustic stuff. It was just, those are some of the first musical impressions. And then, 11 years old, Justice for All comes out. Holy shit, the fucking world changed.
Right.
I know.
Cheers, Chris.
So-
Have a good night, buddy.
All of a sudden, that high gain, tightly controlled, precise chug
Yeah,
paralleled with out of control fuzz and just the overall rage of the band. It was just such a hectic mix. Still trying to find it. Aren't we all, though?
Mm-hmm.
we are indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's got Neil Young always had some great tone. Oh,
Oh, always.
with that Black Les Paul, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the Dog Ear P90s. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yep.
great.
Great guitar.
I love the way
One of
he
these
plays
days.
guitar. You know, we were talking earlier today. We were talking about how people play guitar and how much influence that has over the way in which they sound, the way in which they voice things. I love the way Neil Young plays guitar. You know how he does it. I mean, all the running jokes aside, like there's not a better G chord in the music business than Neil Young. All the jokes aside, there's not a better G chord than on a Neil Young record, right?
Well, Neil Young in general, I mean, you can make fun of him all you want. You can make fun of his flannel shirt, whatever. He is part of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. He is one of the voices that I strived to harmonize like those guys all my life.
Yeah.
And he is part of that harmony. He is the fourth harmony that is ridiculous in that band. Plus, his guitar playing, I mean,
And his songwriting.
he's one of the most prolific songwriters of our time. He's one of the best performers of our time.
Yep.
Is he a technical guitar player? Absolutely not. But the way he plays, no one plays like him.
He plays with so much feel.
And you know it's him as soon as you hear it.
That's right.
Right?
And
So
also-
here's a question. Would you rather be this high-tech guy, or would you rather have a voice so identifiable that you can play one G chord and people know it's you playing?
All day, right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'd rather be Neil Young because he's probably got more Grammys than anyone that's a technical guitar player.
I'd rather be BB King than Yngwie.
I look at a player. I look at Yngwie Malmsteen, and I don't know that I've ever seen a human being with more facility.
By the way, yesterday was his birthday. Happy birthday, Yngwie.
Happy birthday, Yngwie! Yeah, it was his birthday, and he's a young guy, still in his 50s.
Yes.
But I've never seen a player with more facility than him. and his guitar playing is so intimidating to a guy like me that I mean, where do you begin with that? And the thing about Yngwie Malmsteen too, and I know that he was a prodigy as a young guy. I think he's a better player today than he was back in Steeler and Alcatraz. And
he is. He is.
He just gets better. That man just gets.
The thing is, not only does he get cleaner and better, but he has now learned to play more bluesy. He's learned to slow down and play less notes when he wants to. It's not all a flurry of stuff, which still is amazing to me, how his fingers move with such precision. And on a scalloped fretboard, and you would think it had low action, but no, he plays on high action with a scalloped fretboard. So the strings are even farther away than you think, and he plays with that precision.
Oh, Tom wants to throw out Guthrie Govan. I'm way more intimidated by Guthrie Govan, Tom says. I mean, you and me both, my friend. Guthrie is scary.
Yeah, Guthrie's one of the best. I mean, they're all at the top of their game. You know, you can mention Steve Vai, you can mention Satriani, you can mention Guthrie Govan, Andy Timmons, Malmsteen. They are all on top of their game.
Well, here's a question: Is there a more versatile player on the planet? Here's a debate: more versatile player on the planet than Guthrie?
I don't know. I would put Andy Timmons, if not on an even plane, right below him, because Andy is also he's a jazzer. That, you know, he's from the jazz.
Guthrie can do that.
I understand that, and that's what makes them kind of on the even side. I think they are both super clean. They can do anything. Both those guys just do anything.
I'm amazed at how fast Guthrie's brain works. You know, Yngwie too. Like, I mean, or Paul Gilbert. You know, Terry just threw out Paul Gilbert.
Yeah,
their brains move really fast. You know,
and
I mean,
a certain class.
Yep.
I feel like there's a certain class of people that, you know, react faster, think faster, go through the 5 steps of logic to come to the end conclusion faster than some of us, and sometimes that translates to musical instruments. Keith Moon.
Sean Lane, Tom digging deep tonight.
Yeah,
Sean Lane, I mean, gone too soon too. You know, we never got to see what was laying ahead of him, but good call on Sean Lane.
What's up, Taylor?
Taylor's
Hey,
absolutely
Taylor.
right. Steve Morse and Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson for the tone. He's also
Economy picking.
Economy picking. Everything. He's just amazing. They're both amazing.
I love the way Eric Johnson voices chords too. I mean, very identifiable voice he has on the guitar. And Steve Morse, forget about it, man. Steve Morse, unbelievable.
You guys see the Robert Baker video he did? The styles of Eric Johnson. I thought that was a really cool video. Like, touching on what you just said, the way he outlines chords in his lead line. I thought that was super cool.
Mm-hmm. That was really cool.
Sean is hilarious. He says, Ty, this is back to the Yngwie thing. He says, Ty, you begin with harmonic minor and Phrygian dominant. You're absolutely right. And you clap, Phrygian dominant is the 5th mode of the harmonic minor, right? So start with harmonic minor, and I guess you can take off from there. Good call, Sean.
That just went over my head.
Okay, John 5. Terry just threw out John 5. I agree. Like, John 5 is one of my favorite guitar players because of his versatility, his love of playing. I mean, the articulation that he has on the guitar. And in fact, he just announced a tour with Yngwie. So he's going out. John 5 and the Features are going out with Yngwie Malmsteen.
Very cool.
Good thing that tickets don't cost by the amount of notes, right? Otherwise, tickets would be super expensive.
Get it.
Nobody could have ever afforded the G3 series.
Yeah.
Very true.
Good call, Terry, on John.
I love
5.
John 5, and what I really respect about him is that he does what he does on a Telecaster. Probably the hardest guitar to play on. It's probably the hardest guitar to do what he does on for anyone. It's one of the coolest guitars in the world, but it's one of the hardest guitars to play. So to do what he does on a Telecaster. All right, yeah, we're all right. So Taylor 315 says Andy Wood. Of course, you got all of those YouTubers that are phenomenal. Everyone, the Camerons, the Cameron Brown, the Cameron Cooper, Andy Wood, all of those guys, they're all at the top of their game. But we're really talking about the old school rock stars. Yes, Andy Wood and all these other guys are the new regime of rock star because YouTube, let's face it, YouTube is the most popular medium to get noticed on. But we're talking about the old time rock stars that made it big by getting record deals and getting popular that way and doing tours, not just going online and giving video lessons.
Mark Dillon just threw out Steve Lukather.
Oh, Lukather, forget it.
Forget it.
Hey, what's up, Mark? Hope things are going well out on the rock.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Steve Lukather is the way in which he composes melody, melodic playing, and then he can burn when he wants to. I mean, I just love how controlled Luke plays, and what an amazing ear. Nobody's mentioned Michael Landau yet. I put Michael Landau in that same category with Scott Henderson.
That's right. I think Lukather idolizes Landau. So, it's just Landau's like one of the forefathers.
Oh my gosh, Jeff threw out Dan Huff. Come on.
Get it.
What's up, Jeff?
Dan Huff, along with being a guitar player that he is, how about the producer that he is?
How about the singer that he is?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yes. Going acoustically, one guy that doesn't seem to get enough mention these days is Andy McKee.
Oh yeah.
You guys ever hear him? Oh Jesus! Oh, yeah. I heard Drifting about 10 years ago, and I think I had to remind myself to breathe when it was done. I was like, "What did I just see?" That's talk about being able to think faster than you can play. That guy's working on 3 different levels of instrument all at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
Check him out, Dave. Amazing.
Jeff throws out Dan Huff. I remember the first time I heard it. Oh, we're gonna get to that, Dan in New Jersey. The first time I heard Dan Huff was on that Giant record that Tom mentions. I mean, it blew my mind because I don't know if this is fair or not, but it reminded me of a heavier version of Luke. I mean, the way in which he articulated the guitar. Dan Huff was just, and tone, good Lord, the guitar tone, amazing. Paul throws out, this is why I love this audience. I mean, they're throwing out guys here that are just next world. Paul Rodriguez, that's a good call, Paul. Dan in New Jersey throws out one of my favorite guys, Bernie Marsden.
Absolutely.
It's funny. Dave and I talked about Bernie Marsden over the weekend. His guitar playing, and he's got, is that a 58 or a 59? Is the Beast a 58 or a 59?
It's a 59. It's called the Beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that the guitar is more popular than he is, but he is what plays that guitar. So people need to keep that in mind, that although the Beast is an enigma of its own, the guy playing it is what makes it sound good.
Yeah, Bernie Marsden is pretty phenomenal. Taylor throws out Frank Marino. I love Mahogany Rush. I had a huge Zach phase for a long time. And when I heard that Frank and Al Di Meola were big influences on him. That's how I discovered those guys. Love Frank Marino. Hope everything's well with Frank. I had read some news that maybe things, that maybe his health wasn't all that great. So I hope everything's well with him.
And hello to Christopher. Thanks for the Happy Canada Day. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Bernie Marsden, man, that's the first time Bernie Marsden's ever been mentioned on this show, and I just love that era of music. I love the 70s stuff. I'm with Gear Junkie 35. I love Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith, and I love that throwback to the 70s riff rock kind of thing.
Me too.
A guy that I'm working in a musical project with right now, a bass player that has been on our show before. He goes by the name Raz. Raz has introduced me to this band called Inglorious. Have y'all checked this band out?
No.
It is riff rock of the highest orders. Fantastic. Another great riff rock record that's been released as of recently is the Dead Daisies with the magnificent Doug Aldrich and Glenn Hughes.
Yes.
Which blow the doors off good.
All right. So
Glenn Hughes is just as good as he was in the 70s.
he's better. He's better.
It might be better.
Yeah.
He's better. He's better now because I got to tell you, to play bass guitar and to sing the way he sings. First of all, I dare anyone to play single note anything and sing and be like a real vocalist. That's the hardest thing to do in the world. It's almost as hard as playing drums and keeping the beat and singing.
Right.
It is so hard. Anyone, any schlep can play rhythm guitar and sing, but to play single notes and sing and make the single notes make sense and sing at the same time, that's an art. Not anyone can do that.
Super nice guy too.
Have
So
you
I
met him,
think I
Ben?
heard-
I've never met him.
I had the pleasure of running into him at NAMM my first year going. I saw him on a park bench, just walked up and said hi. He was just so nice, so gracious, and so positive. I've been following him on social media for years just because he puts out words of positivity. And
Awesome.
he is a great, kind soul. Love it.
That is like my favorite era, and I apologize in advance if this is offensive to anybody, but that's my favorite era, that Mach 3 era of Deep Purple. That's I love that era.
Sure. Why would it?
Well, it was a reinvention of the band, and it wasn't. I know a lot of Purple maniacs love Machine Head, and
Sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a place for that. It's awesome stuff. But as far as the best sounding band, it's Mach 3. You're absolutely right.
I love it.
Yep.
I love Deep Purple, man. Deep Purple is a band that I don't feel like Americans talk about enough. And what about, back to Dan of New Jersey's thing about Bernie Marsden? That era of Whitesnake doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion.
And it should. It really should.
Those are great records.
That era of Whitesnake was where all the originals were. Since then, Coverdale has covered his own music several times.
And whitewashed the past.
How many versions of
Here I go again.
Here I Go Again are there? What's the one with Vi on it?
Fool for Your Lovin'.
Fool for Your Lovin'. He loves covering his music, which is great because every time it's a little different. But the Bernie Marsden stuff is the original stuff, and it's just,
but look, he handed Crying in the Rain over to Sykes, and that was game over. Game over.
David Scher. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey, David. So I'm going to mention a name. I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this one.
All right.
Because of the band he's in. But Gary Richrath from REO Speedwagon.
Are you kidding? That guy's phenomenal.
Yeah. He's hands down the reason why I own a Les Paul. Because
I was just about to say, there's a common denominator on a lot of these guys that we're talking about now, and they all play Les Pauls.
Yep.
Riding the Storm Out live. Holy crap. Come on.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Forget it.
There were two like it was 1982, and MTV was brand new, and really the first time that I've ever seen or knew about guitars back then. And I noticed Les Pauls. The two people that made me want to get a Les Paul was him and Billy Squier,
Mm-hmm.
because those live videos, like they would have live videos of those bands,
Right.
and you would see Billy playing either a Telecaster or a Les Paul or a Junior, and man, or Gary Richrath. You'd hear him play a song, and in the middle of this ballad, he'd do a strings like
Right.
one of those string, one of those things, and the coolest sound in the world.
Yep.
It's a string scraping. Oh my
Yep.
God! And the way he played, he looked like a rock star playing a Les Paul the way he did. The sound he got playing Les Pauls through a Marshall. It was like you wouldn't think that he'd be playing that sound and that type of guitar in RO Speedwagon music, but he made it work, and it sounded amazing. And that's that's what made them a rock band.
Right. And that was the go-to combination, Les Paul into a Marshall. Nope, there was nothing else really out on the market that did that same sound.
It's the sound of rock and roll for me. I mean, for sure. I love the Van Halen tone of Fair Warning, and Van Halen 2. I just cherish those guitar tunes. But the sound of rock for me was defined by Les Paul.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, Les Paul into a brown face Fender for me, woo, goosebumps.
I'm still chasing that AFD, Appetite for Destruction sound. Damn.
Well, let me know when you find it, man, because I want you to share the secret. Because that guitar tone,
closest I can get.
The guitar tone, like on like Rocket Queen, that rhythm, and it's so aggressive. It's in off of that F sharp, so aggressive. That tone for me, or the ultimate guitar for me on that record is on Night Train. That is, that opens up with that big A chord. That is just, it's amazing.
Taylor, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Taylor.
He says, absolutely killer show tonight, guys. Really digging it. Thank you so much. And
thank you, Taylor.
I want to thank someone else here who had a super chat. Was it Ben Tom?
It was Ben Tom.
Ben Tom
says,
high price at Nez says Ben Coombs. Is there any easy way I can lower the noise? And Ty went over this earlier, but thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, Tom says Rocket Queen, Brownstone for him. That whole Brownstone is such that song. You want to get your fingers moving around a riff rock song.
Whoa.
Brownstone, baby.
Right.
I mean,
that's a busy song.
It's busy and it's killer, and the transitions from riff to verse to chorus, it's killer. And a lot of that fill playing in that song, a lot of the little fill riffs, even in the beginning, that's Izzy Stradlin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Izzy was a highly, highly underrated factor to that band's original flavor of Rolling Stones back and forth call and response with the rhythm guitars that we haven't seen since Guns N' Roses.
That's exactly right.
Wow. That's
an
cool.
ironic thing about the Brownstone song, like you said, Ty, very technical, very busy at times. Considering the subject matter, it's rather ironic.
But Ben, the interesting piece of that for me as a player is the groove. Like all of that happens in a pocket. There's like a serious groove.
But the funny part is, if you're all on Brownstone, you ain't playing that song live. That's what I'm saying. You're playing It's So Easy. That's about it.
Well, look, even It's So Easy. There's a clever little. It's in the key of there's a clever little solo bit.
That's easy.
in that song. And look, It's So Easy's got that rhythm that rhythm piece that bounces off of E. There's some cool things that really happen in that music to get to Gear Junkie 35's point. Is there's a lot that you can unpack in Appetite that make you a better rhythm player, lead player, songwriter. And I think a lot of it is the way those guys play guitar. Like if you think about it, they're playing a half step down. They string those guitars with 11s. They're playing with heavy picks, and they're wearing the guitar low. And when that happens, and you're holding a big heavy pick like this, Bab, I don't have here's a 1 millimeter. You're holding a big heavy pick. You've got your arm stretched out low across the guitar. Your hand just naturally falls against that, and it creates this percussiveness. That is all part of it, guys. And if you notice how Slash 2 kind of anchors his hand, he'll anchor this bottom part of his hand on the guitar. That certainly helps with this fatty piece of the hand creating this natural mute on the string. All of that plays a huge factor in the guitar tone.
Well, it's like Gear Junkie. You had mentioned it earlier there with the Sweet Child of Mine video, right? Like when I saw that, I saw this guy, Izzy, just hanging out in the background in every shot, playing a telly. And I was like,
looking cool, looking so cool.
Cigarette hanging out, poor boy cap on. I went, everyone's watching Slash and Axl. I saw Izzy. I went, that's what I want to do in my life.
He's today's Malcolm Young.
Oh yeah,
and he played like a Jackson Telly. He played a Gretsch, and he played a Les Paul Custom, a black custom, and it just sat in the background. And he was he's the black top that everyone stood on and walked on. Like he's the surface of that band, which is amazing.
There was some really underrated drumming by Steven Adler.
I was just about to say, I think the secret formula of that record is Steven Adler's swing.
He had a lot of Tommy Lee in his playing, I thought.
A lot of groove.
Tommy Lee swagger swing in his beats.
A lot of groove. Mm-hmm. I've noticed this. I've seen that band a ton live, and I can't wait. I'm going to see them again in September, and I'm going with Fruitcake Tony and with Charles Green. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to see them in August.
Yes, you are. I hear you got pretty good seats, Dave.
Front row, right in front of Slash. Front row, seat 7. First row.
I actually, many thousands moons of years ago, I got to meet Slash. He was on break between the Use Your Illusion tours. He was in Chicago getting his cousin a record deal. I guess his cousin was opening up for some band at the Riviera. My friend had won radio tickets to go see somebody, I forget who. But we get there early, check out sound, check out the setup and all that. And we're looking around. I'm like, that dude over there kind of looks like Slash. A couple minutes later, I walk. That really, really looks like. Are you Slash? Super laid back, super chill, nice as could be. Hey, tell you what, trying to keep it low here. I'm here with a couple of Geffen guys. Let me finish up with him, doing some business. Before I'm going to talk to you guys in a few minutes. True to his word, he spent about 20 minutes just chatting with us. We were we're just kids at the club. And cool as could be. So,
wow, nice.
Yeah, I've had nothing but respect for Slash since.
Nothing wrong with that.
Single-handedly, I'm going to say this, and I don't care the criticism that gets thrown my way. He single-handedly saved a cherished guitar brand.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Gibson was gone before. I mean, everyone was playing Ibanez's and Kramer's. He brought it back. Him and Tom Kiefer.
Yeah. And a little bit,
Joe
Perry a little bit on that one too, because listen, when Aerosmith came back with Permanent Vacation, Joe was playing a few Les Pauls still.
Yeah, but
I won't
Joe,
say a lot because he's always played a lot of stuff.
But Joe played first of all, when they're on the road, he takes about 60 guitars with him,
Exactly.
and they're all different. They're mostly Tellys. They're mostly the Telly Strats, Les Pauls, 335s. He plays a lot of things. You can mention them, but not as much as definitely Slash. Tom Kiefer played a Les Paul when Jeff LaBar was playing a Kramer.
Kramer.
And Tom Kiefer was playing all the solos on a Les Paul.
Yeah. Thank you, Taylor. Christopher says he met Slash in '87 watching Zodiac Mind Warp. That must have been cool.
That's a great band.
And he loved the reaction, opened the show from the photo pit and scored a pit.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Slash is a British guitarist. That seems odd, says Bent Tom.
But
It's true.
technically,
He's born in Stoke.
yep.
No kidding.
All right, guys, give me a second. Give me a second. I'll actually show you the autograph. I still have it.
Sure. I remember in Slash's book joking about every time they would play in the UK, Ty, he would always invite his family to the shows, as he should, but he'd invite them right before they were scheduled to go on stage because otherwise they'd drink all the booze backstage.
No doubt.
My family liked the drink. I'm like, yeah, you come by it honestly, living over there.
There's so many aspects of his playing that I love so much.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. That's very cool.
Nice. Very cool.
I immediately took it to the currency exchange the very next day and got it laminated.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, just as a side note, anyone in the chat that would like to join us in one of these videos in the future, if you have something to show, if you want to talk about something, if you got gear that you want to show, please contact me on Facebook Messenger, just David Nesdall, or you can look up Nez Says, and contact me on Facebook Messenger, and we'll talk about it, and we'll get you on one of these future shows. We have no problem bringing you on here and talking to you. It's a lot of fun. So please, if you want to come on here, I can't do everyone at once, but I can certainly do one or two people each week.
Sure.
Unless we have a guest. When we have a guest, I can't do that. But be happy to get you on here and talk about your gear. So keep that in mind.
Taylor says, what is your opinion of Slash's guitar playing? Well, I love it. Every solo the man plays, you can sing. Lots of melody, right?
That's a big point.
A lot of melody. Listen, he can burn too. I mean, the Slash that is playing today is not the same Slash that recorded Appetite. I mean, he's on a different level. But there's aspects of his playing that I find extremely tasteful. I love how he'll go to play. I mean, Sean Zimmerman was talking about harmonic minor earlier. Harmonic minor is a big part of his playing, especially over the 5-chord, and that is an aspect of guitar that's a little different than standard rock guitar. That's what makes a lot of that character and that voice to me stand out. It was something that I heard that I wanted to immediately begin to borrow or just downright steal. And I took a lot of that. Of course, I've learned a lot of his songs. I've learned an awful lot of his solos. The way he uses a wah pedal was very different than the way than the way other players did it. And look, there's been great players that used the wah. I mean, you got Hendrix and Zach, and a lot of players use a wah. Gilmore, but the way Slash did it was different. That ascending run in Sweet Child of Mine. You want to learn a lot about Slash? Learn the main solo of Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah,
there's an ascending harmonic minor run in the middle of that solo. It's a beautiful thing. The other thing, he uses a lot of chromaticism in his guitar playing. He passing tones that are leading to a new tone, which Bent Tom will be the first to tell you that a lot of jazz players use these leading tones, for character, and for transition, and for color. Slash brings a lot of that flavor. I mean, I I love his guitar playing. I can talk about it for a long time. But let's also don't forget that he was a player that ascended in the age of gain, and he turned his gain down. And he was playing. There's a lot of clean.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I think that was they had the right bunch of guys, in that band that had that, like they tried going a little glammy, Axl more than the rest of the band, which is fine because as a front man, that's the whole thing. But you could tell like Izzy and Slash were both like, look, we just got to be the Stones or Aerosmith. In the world of Van Halen's, let's be the next Stones or Aerosmith. And they did. There he is. Boner Jams. What's going on, everyone? Great show, guys. Hope everyone has a safe holiday weekend. America.
Never thought I'd get to say this, but hi, Boner Jams.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Boner Jams. Thank you very much. Hope you have a great weekend too. Stay safe.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Love Boner Jams. He's the man.
Absolutely. He's so cool. And his
Yo, Boner America.
His show with Jay is fantastic. I'm not a metal guy, but I really enjoy their show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Good
think
stuff.
that, Tom, that's going to be the name of Boner Jam's first album, Boner America.
Nah.
I can't wait to see the artwork that gets put on that album.
Make America bone again.
It'll probably just be some dude mooning the camera. It's my guess. With a strategically placed album title as a tattoo on one of the
That's right.
Very funny.
Cool.
Just a guess. Now he's writing that down. I want my 5%.
So what else we got, guys?
This has been fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun to talk about this guy right here.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, that's cool.
Always fun. So
When are you gotta send one of those to me. I love that.
there you go.
Oh,
Well,
That's cool.
You can talk to my daughter Emma, who I put this in here for me one day, and he sits right back there.
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Flash is watching. Always remember.
he is indeed, and what a terrific guitar player he is.
He taught me all about those half pre-bends.
Oh my
That's a
God,
great
man!
way.
Nobody in rock music does it better.
No, absolutely. And he can do it like the way Steve Vai does, the Winnie trick with the bar. Flash does that with that little pre-bent, half bend, and it's just like blink of an eye, hits you out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, I felt that riff. Well done.
I love Tom was talking about seventh arpeggios earlier. His use of how he uses sevens in chords, like he will outline 7 chords with note choices, and they are arpeggios, but they're not arpeggios in the sense of the way Yngwie uses them. I mean, he's using them to outline the chord that he's playing on top of. But there's a lot of bluesiness to it, or the way he uses fourths, like in the Jungle solo. I mean, he got that from B.B. King. I mean, because we hear Stevie got it from Albert King and B.B. King, and we hear it in Stevie's music. You can hear it in Slash's stuff too. I mean, there's a lot of throwback to the masters in those solos.
And sadly, I think that's what a lot of what modern rock is missing. You can't really listen to a modern band these days and go, damn, I can kind of tell what their roots were, what they grew up listening to. It's just become so homogenous.
Well, the thing about Slash too that I feel like he's really carved a place out for himself, especially since he's had the Conspirators, is and listen, the man can absolutely flat out burn, and I mean, just listen to those last 2 records if you need proof, World on Fire and Living the Dream. He has created his own thing at this point. Like an individual can go to a guitar store, pick up a guitar, and play those half bends, or the way in which they want to walk down a diatonic scale in fourths or something, and you will sound like Slash. Incorporating a major 7 into a minor scale, you will sound like Slash if you do certain things like that, because he has created his own voice by himself. And I mean, that's what the greats do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I agree with Boner Jams. No one can tell Slash's ever age because no one's seen his face since the spring of '86.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Crazy. So, real quick, because I know once we say goodnight to everyone, I'm going to forget this. So, Ty and Ben.
Yes.
Everyone knows I'm getting married a week from this Saturday. So next week, as far as I know, we're not going to have a show next week because I don't know that Ty is going to have the time. He's going to be flying up here and doing a lot of stuff, plus coming to the wedding, and we have a lot of stuff planned. So is it safe to say we're not going to have a show next week, or should we maybe give people a heads up in the middle of the week next week to see if we may have one? What do you want to do?
I say we're not doing one right now. However, if you got that bell rung, if we do go live, you'll know. And you usually set it up in advance and it'll show up in your subscription feed anyhow.
I think that's a great idea because you never know. Ty and I may not be terribly tired at night, and Ben is gracious enough to give us his time pretty much at a moment's notice, which is unbelievable, and I thank you so much for that, Ben.
I have no life. I have no life.
Well, no, you do have a life, and you are a monster on YouTube. So I appreciate that you block out whatever time you can for us, and that just means the world to me. So thank you so much. And again, forgive me for mentioning this on the show, but I don't know when we'd have time to mention it otherwise.
That's the thing. We have all different schedules. Speaking of which, Boner Jam says, Ben and a special guest. Well, that'll be this Sunday, July the 4th, because it's going to be my sister Amanda on my channel,
Awesome.
having her birthday show. She liked the fact I do my birthday on the show, so she wanted in on the action, and her birthday is actually on Monday, but she decided to take over my channel this Sunday night, folks. So there's your special guest, Boner Jams.
Very cool. So is there anything left to discuss tonight?
Gear Junkie, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for the invite. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, you'll come back. Believe me, we'll have you back.
I just thought I heard outside, for those who don't know, I have a highway out here, and I thought there was somebody blowing a couple of tires, and then I just realized fireworks, because, again, Happy Canada Day. I was like, wow, the neighborhood's really gone to hell here with all this gunfire, but, oh, yeah, fireworks, right. Perfect.
Canucks with guitars and Canucks with fireworks.
There you go. What a combo.
One of those two causes lost fingers.
Oh, yeah.
You need to find out.
Please be careful. If you're going to blow up fireworks, which are illegal anyway, please be careful.
Not illegal here. We got a fireworks factory in town.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I moved about 7 months ago. I moved from Illinois to Wisconsin. In Illinois, it's so highly illegal. Up here, it hasn't stopped. Fireworks hasn't stopped for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Boner Jam says, thanks to me, I gave him some info on a swirled Ibanez. Boner Jams, did you buy that? Have you made a deal yet, or did you pass on it? While we wait for that answer. We were going to do some sort of rig rundown here at the house where I show all the guitars and speak a little bit about them, but I think we're going to save that for a future show.
Well, we have the technology now, Dave, with our remote gear cams and stuff that we can do.
Multicam.
And
The NES cam. NES cam.
Hashtag Tone Cam.
Anyway, we'll do that another time, and we'll go into detail about it. That could actually be a whole show on its own. But yeah, we're nearing the end of tonight's show, and I don't want to have to rush that. So we'll just do that another time.
Well, this has been fun, guys.
It has
Fun
been
discussion tonight.
That's it.
And thank you all in the chat that join us each and every week. We certainly appreciate you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
if we do not return next week, we will see you folks in 2 weeks. That gives you more time to save up questions, new gear purchases.
Yeah, and if anyone wishes to join us, let me know. Actually, let either myself know, Ty know, or Ben. Let any of the three of us know in some sort of private message, and we will work on getting you on. It's just that easy, and we enjoy having people on here with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Boner Jams, thank you so much for the congratulations on the wedding. Thank you so much, everyone. So blessed to have everyone here hanging out with us. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Dan. Sean and Marshall, keep bringing the Phrygian dominant questions, keeping the brain sharp.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we've got nothing else to say, Gear Junkie, hang out with us for a second. We'll say goodbye off the air, and we will see you guys all in 2 weeks, maybe next week, but probably in 2 weeks. I will have a ring on this finger. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.
Take care, okay?